out the first coming Marauder. The first time we saw the Marauder, it was attacking. Where did could Select have done anything different? Could he have done something better to improve his positioning? Because imagine if he killed a lot of SCVs, he would have been so far ahead, maybe even have won. But was that third barracks that much of a big boost? Or was it the
It's not only
the bunker?
Okay, so there's a couple things that Puma got a little bit lucky with. He went 2 barracks directly after going that command center first. Actually, that's a really intelligent and comprehensive way to play. Normally, players go 1 barracks, get the refinery, and then go a factory directly after that, similar to Terran versus Zerg. But by going 2 barracks, what you're basically saying is, I'm going to defend any early rushes. And were there any indicators that there was an early rush coming? Yeah, that early SCV scout. Normally, you won't see an SCV scout that early. And I guess Puma kind of prepared for that. Now, obviously, he didn't have a bunker out. I think he was just trying to play a little bit greedy in case it was some sort of huge fake out. He just wanted to scout out his opponent. But for the most part, I felt like that second barracks really did it for him, and he was able to hold it off. Now, what I mean by holding it off is not committing so many SCVs to actually defend against those Marauders. He did it well. Only, what, 2 or 3 being lost there at the expense of an Orbital Command Center, which he got out of that. That Orbital Command Center, every single time you put out a mule, that's 4.5 mining efficient workers. That's really, really good. So I think, honestly, Select didn't do enough damage. Now, how would that be different on a map like Ohana? Let's say if you put your barracks right over here. Well, if you put the barracks right over here, you're in your opponent's face. Not only that, the barracks lift off into the ledge to actually get sight will actually counter a lot of bunker plays. And you can actually put a bunker, and remember, bunkers can outrange, or excuse me, Marauder bunkers can outrange Marine bunkers. So you can actually break that down pretty easily and make it really tough for Puma in those situations. But I feel like the build order choice from last game was kind of off just because of how big it is, and placing your barracks so you can't actually see up a hill is a big problem. That was a lot longer-winded than I thought it was going to be.
No, it's okay. It was a thorough explanation. That's why I think, you don't necessarily want to pick it. Although I have seen people go proxy Marauder on Ohana. That kind of stuff comes into play, especially in the best 3 series, and that's kind of where the mind game lays. We see Puma is going for a fast expand. Select has grabbed gas and is going for a factory, but no second gas just yet. And as I say that, a second gas pops up. So Select looks like he's going to open Banshees.
Most likely Banshees. It could be some sort of like crazy 1-1-1.
It could be with a quick tank.
Yeah, quick siege tank, or not even 1-1-1, like a 1-1. Oh my God! Look at this. 3rd command center goes down for Puma.
Oh,
if he defends against any aggression that comes up here, he's a savant, man. Like this
I've
is
seen
crazy.
Tasia do something like that once, where he went 3 command center and just had only Marines and like 1 tank. And held off like a 1-1-1.
Yeah.
I was like Viking, tank, Marine.
And Frodan,
Banshee.
what type of player is Tasia?
Tasia is a sicko.
He's a savant.
Oh,
he's a sicko. He is a sicko, man.
He's a savant sicko.
Yes.
That's right.
Most definitely. Oh my gosh, I keep misclicking with my mouse. Sorry about that, guys. But we do have, as you said, the Cloak Banshee coming out here. This is obviously so good for Select. Now, if he throws down a tech lab onto this factory directly after he gets Cloak and his Banshee, that's the #1 indicator. Oh, big scan goes down. So what does Select do from here? Does he actually continue on with Cloak Banshee, or is he going to stop this?
Yeah. I mean, there is some mind games within the mind games. Like, is he going really for Cloak? Is he just getting Caduceus Reactor to kind of fake out? Is he going for a Raven realistically? There's all these kinds of things, but at the same time, Select has information while Puma really didn't have that much information other than the fact that he saw no quick expansion. Then scans, sees everything, needs an engineering bay as soon as he can, and he already has it, so he's going to start putting up his turrets in a very nice locations. He's been being so safe. Look at that. He's going to place 2 in his natural, 1 in his main, Andre.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love him to actually place more just because he has this extra Orbital Command Center.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't stress it enough. 4.5 mining workers. And when you have 2 Orbital Command Centers above your opponent, that's a 9 total workers. So even though it looks very similar, it's a very big advantage for Puma in terms of economy. And you can splurge on mineral-only units, which would be Marines, which would be turrets. It's not bad whatsoever. Select is going to come over here with the first Banshee, and he will see the command center, most likely. And from that, he should be saying, I need to do continued pressure. Like, there should be nothing to that. Oh, too close to the...
Yeah, he has to be very cautious to how he approaches, because the turret does detect farther than it can shoot. So even if... oh, the scan! Oh, man.
Wow.
Very
Whoa.
close.
So he just baited out, a whole mule, right? I would have much rather had the mule down and then 2 turrets here and here. And then you can zone out that Banshee really nicely. Select trying to bait out another scan, and he does! Oh my god, 540 minerals right there. That is beautifully done.
Very well done by Select thus far, but the advantage that Puma has is still pretty significant economically, just in pure worker count.
Yeah, it has to be a continuation attack. Puma right now isn't committing a lot of mules down because he keeps needing to constantly scan. But in this position, I mean, this continuation attack is going to be so accessible. You can see siege mode is almost finished. Siege tanks are already rallied all the way over to the Xenonaga Tower. And again, we have more harassment being done onto the base of Puma.
Now Puma is... it seems that Select has found a pretty nice sweet spot. You can see Puma is tempted to scan again, but he's just trying to stall for enough time to see if he can even collect more positioning advantage with his Marines. The Banshee control is very good for Select as well. He's staying on top of his macro, but should be able to get the Banshee with the scan, and he does.
But how does he deal with this, Frodan? This is going to be the big problem. You can see Stim is pretty far away from finishing. He still has a minute until that finishes. And look at that, the siege tank is already doing a ton of damage. Look at how close it is. He's able to actually snipe out some of the SCVs. Really clever positioning. And what's nice about Puma is that he's buying a lot of time.
Yeah.
And with this time, he's actually able to get that stim up ASAP. Of course, I said it was so far away, but I forgot this is StarCraft minutes, so that's like 20 seconds in real life. And it looks like Puma, he might be able to hold this off, but don't forget, that's just so many Marines that have already been killed in the early game stage. And with 2, oh my god, I just bit my tongue, but 2 siege tanks are on.
He might try to go. His stim is done. He's going to pull his SCVs. This is the defining moment. 1 Banshee drops as well. Does he have enough to deal with the 2 tanks? Looks like he does. Puma, but he's pulling back. The Banshee doing a good job pushing forward. And good thing about Puma is that he also has a bunker at the top of the ramp in terms of his main. But we see that Select also pushing forward 2 tanks. Select also has a great, comfortable amount of a supply lead based off in workers. So even if he doesn't, he's done significant damage. Yeah. This is great job by Select. This push is exactly what you're saying, Andre. Non-stop aggression and pushing forward. And the economy for Puma is in shambles.
That's right. And Puma, I think, this whole time thought his opponent was just doing 1 base pressure. I do want to mention that last battle, he forgot to stim his units. And when you forget to stim your units, you're actually losing a ton of DPS. Puma down to 25 supply. And this is just representative of the openings. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Select was just picking the best opening possible for Puma, going a triple orbital command center before putting down any sort of barracks. I mean, that's really, really tough to hold. And these are the same 2 siege tanks that have just been champions. 9 kills and 13 kills. And they're going to rack up a couple more as well.
Yeah, there's nothing really that Puma can do to stop it. Select's already in the production line of Terran, and the economy, again, is nothing left. GG. Select takes game number 2 with great execution of strong aggression and harassment. Baiting out so many scans, taking out Marines and enough. And I just liked how he was able to work based off what he scouted. It's like, okay, well, he went triple orbital. I should be able to do a pressure from here. And from that point, it's like, okay, I guess I could win from here. Very well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's well executed. That's what it comes down to. Just perfect positioning. I loved, especially the siege tank, going a little bit closer. A lot of Terrans actually just go to the range of where you can actually snipe the bunker. But when you go a little bit past the range, you can always take out those SCVs that are constantly repairing those bunkers. And it really forces Puma to make a little bit of a faster move rather than just waiting, and then he pushes with stim.
I agree. Game number 2 was brought to you by Kingston. They provide all the SSD and memory for NASL Season 4. Check them out at kingston.com. When we return, the last game, the final game of the night, Puma versus Select. Who will win? Will Puma be able to defend home turf, or Select going to stay undefeated? We'll find out right after this commercial break.